You idiot, it's not lupus. It's never lupus. It's dust counting. They're not growing enough protein crystals. Quick, get the medicine.
But Dr. House, that's your Vicodin. You're just taking more Vicodin.
Yeah.
Vicodin.
How else am I supposed to do this? Hi, everyone. Welcome to End of Mission, the podcast where we try to imitate House episodes. I'm Dr. Pressure-Fed Astronaut. Who are you?
I'm Face of Sarcasm, your HIPAA officer. I don't know.
You're the cop that gets really mad at House. You're the patient of the week. You have a weird disease because you lie.
You have a weird disease because you lie.
This episode vexes me. So this is going to be STS-40, the first full life sciences mission of the Space Shuttle program.
Yay, we get to look at the fleshy, weird human crap.
And rats.
Oh, okay, now it's exciting.
Yeah. I actually got a picture of one of them.
Yes.
Does
it have its own little astronaut suit?
No. That's not in the budget.
Dang
didn't pick this mission because of life sciences. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Oh. Is it because of the rats?
I picked it because of one of the gas cans.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Will I see it soon?
Sort of.
Okay.
So, today's flight is on Columbia again. We've had 3 Columbia flights in a row. What's the next shuttle mission on? Discovery, I think. We're good.
Okay.
This is the 41st flight of the Space Shuttle program.
Hence why it's STS-40.
Yep. This is the 11th flight of Columbia, the second flight after Challenger of Columbia.
Okay.
Yeah, the last one it did was, I think, STS-28, because that's when it got silts. So the previous flight of the shuttle program was actually STS-39, which we've covered. That's the critical ionization velocity one.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Good, you remember that. Yep. The previous flight of Columbia was STS-35, so it's the third flight after. Because STS-30, because we've seen the telescope that flew on STS-35. It's the one at Huntsville at the Space Rocket Center. Right. We've seen that.
Yeah.
So this is the first dedicated life sciences space lab flight for the shuttle. It's also the first with 3 women on board.
Ooh.
And 3 medical doctors. Yeah. Well, so of course that record got broken, I guess, by the Katy Perry flight to space last week.
Wait, they're all doctors?
No. Do you think Katy Perry is a doctor?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I haven't looked into it.
What's funny is the commander talked about how, I can handle different different branches of the military, different types of people. The real scary part, the fact that it's 3 women doesn't bother me. Is the fact that it's 3 doctors that scares me on this flight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they are scary.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they might do weird medical procedures on you and call you a moron.
Yeah. This is where all of the budget for NASA actually went is to the doctors.
Yeah, it's house runs.
Yeah, this is going to be brief $10 million diagnosis.
Yeah. So STS-40 is one of those missions where it started out as something before Challenger. So it was originally going to be STS-61D or Space Lab 4. And pieces of it were also going to be STS-61I. And then, Challenger happened and we reevaluated the shuttle program and how fast we're going to fly this thing.
Right.
This pushed the flight to 1991. Technically 1990. We'll get to why it's 1991.
What, does it happen over New Year's?
No. Actually, I'm just going to spoiler alert. The anniversary of this mission will be when we upload the episode somehow.
We're really good at timing.
I don't know how this keeps happening. So this mission has a focus on medical science. How the heart, blood vessels, lungs, kidneys, and glands react to microgravity. Then space sickness and how microgravity changes muscles, bones, and cells.
So basically just how space affects people.
Yep. Lots and lots of science. At the welding shack with the crew.
Yeah.
And there are 2 laboratory animals on this flight, actually. One of them's rats, and the other one's I have pictures of both of them. Don't worry.
Okay.
Also on board is a gas bridge, as we saw in the main image. One of which is the reason why I picked this one. Also, if you notice, wait, why is it not clicking? Oh, that's why. You can see it's got the nice orbiter art.
Oh, yeah.
Diagram. Yeah, that's also why I liked this one. It's like, this is actually a nice one. Why didn't NASA make more of these?
It's expensive.
That's true.
You have to pay an artist. You can make it up in AI now.
The rats don't want to make it. So, what's in the payload bay? A gas bridge.
Well, it looks like Mode 0, Space Life Sciences 1, and the Gas Bridge Assembly.
And up here is SILTS. We talked about this the last time we did a Columbia mission, which is STS-80 in 94.
Oh, yeah.
So SILTS is Shuttle Infrared Lee-Side Temperature Sensing. It's an infrared camera on the top of the tail that looks down on the orbiter as it's coming in during re-entry.
Mm-hmm. Just T-posing above it to assert dominance.
Yep, so this is what it sees. So it sees the top of the orbiter, the wings, the leading edge of the left wing, foreshadowing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one's going to suck when we get to that one.
Yeah.
Challenger's going to suck, too. I started working on the slides for that. Ugh.
Ooh.
So we have a bunch of gas cans. G021, solid-state microaccelerometer experiment. Tests new extreme sensitivity accelerometers made of silicon.
Cool. So the sand, how the sand, how fast you could put the sand towards
Magic sand, yep.
magic sand.
Then we have G052, experiment in crystal growth.
Crystal growth, yay! My favorite.
We
should do more crystals.
We have to make a crystal growth like soundboard, you know, like, hey, we're making crystals. I don't know.
For a second, I thought you were saying that like we have to make like a soundboard for the sounds of crystals, which.
Look,
how would that?
You
work?
cook the right crystals, you'll hear anything. Okay.
Gotta get those Walter White crystals.
Actually, one of the astronauts is from Albuquerque, so it's all coming together.
It's all coming. Wait a minute.
Yeah, if you look at the mission patch, it actually has the. That's the Albuquerque. That's not Albuquerque. That's the New Mexico flag. Symbol.
Oh yeah. It has that sun on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's gonna grow gallium arsenide crystals with selenium doping. So this is actually a doping scandal. It's doing performance enhancing crystals. And
of course it's gonna grow bigger.
Yeah, and they have like a melt. They're gonna melt it, and it's gonna be 1 inch in diameter and 3.5 inches long of like crystals.
Mm-hmm.
And no, there's no pictures of it. There's not much I could find on results for this one. I'm sorry.
Oh. Shame.
So we have to make like a lot more jokes. So this episode isn't half an hour long.
Or it could just be a half an hour long.
We got to be funny.
Okay.
So then we have G091, orbital ball bearing experiment. This is a very Soviet sounding experiment.
How do ball bearings work in space?
Yes, I grew them in factory. Now we grow them in space. When we do Mir, there's an entire module dedicated to crystal growth experiments. Just so you know.
Yes.
So this one's going to test melting cylindrical metal pellets in microgravity to make the first seamless hollow ball bearing.
Oh, okay.
It's a shame there's no pictures of this.
That'd be. I mean, it would look like a gray cylinder.
Yeah, but I want to see if they make a seamless hollow ball bearing.
Yeah,
that'd be pretty cool. Too. Yeah, they take them out and they start throwing them at each other, or they slip on them, you know, like cartoonishly, like.
Yeah, in the zero-G environment.
Well, no, when they bring the experiment down to see if they've made ball bearings, it's like, wow, this is great, and they spill them all, and then the wacky noises come around, and everyone's freaking out. Then the rats get them.
And then the rats escape.
And the rats get them and use them as currency.
With ball bearings.
Yeah, and the rats are Russian, I guess. So we have G105, in-space commercial processing. Tests in-space processing techniques for films and crystals. Now, this one's sponsored by the university I'm going to and the Space and Rocket Center.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're making movies in space? That's what the films are for?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what they call it these days. Again, they're growing some crystal, too. So G286, foamed ultralight metals. So then,
Okay, that sounds pretty
it
cool.
is cool. It's a shame I can't find anything on it. So they're testing the feasibility of making foams out of ultralight metals, right? Like foaming metal parts, I guess, for like sealing things, I think.
Or, like a brand new form of insulation foam where you spray it in and it's metal.
That's actually really cool.
That sounds awesome.
There's a lot of safety hazards with that, you'd think.
No, nothing would go wrong.
Because how'd you make metal foam?
How would you make foam metal?
That's true. So then we have G405. Chemical precipitate formation. Tries to form 6 insoluble inorganic chemical precipitates. Very exciting.
What does that mean?
So it's going to try to make... So inorganic means it's not like a carbon. Those are organics. Insoluble means that it's... So pretty much it's going to come out. It's going to dilute out of it, right? So instead of... So it's kind of like if you have like a glass of, your chemistry happening. If it's insoluble, it means it will distinctly come out of the fluid and like float to the surface or sink to the bottom, right? So it's like if you pour like sugar into water and stir it up, that's soluble, so you won't notice it after a while, right? It'll just kind of... The water will take it.
It'll blend together.
Yeah, this is going to try to make 6 of those in whatever, and they're going to get out. They're just going to abscond.
They're going to sneak. So it's a heist.
Yeah, it's a heist. They're going to get some of those crystals, do some selenium doping.
Cool.
Then we have G408, which is 5 microgravity experiments.
All right.
Yeah, very exciting.
Okay.
Now we're getting to the cool ones now. Okay, not all of them, but G451, flower and vegetable seeds exposure to space.
Can you still grow them?
We'll find out. Well, again, I can't find the results, but I guess.
So we will find out.
Yeah, we might. Oh, look. Oh, and then G455. This just buckle up for this one, okay? This is exciting.
Okay.
Semiconductor crystal growth experiment.
Wow.
I know. Boom. Mind blowing what we're doing there.
Yeah.
This is wonderful.
Growing crystal.
So
honestly, though, semiconductor crystal growth, that actually does sound like it's insanely practical.
Yeah. It really does. See current events, which this is coming out in June, so more current events will have happened between now and then. So
yeah, hey, for those of you in the future, tell us in the past what all goes on.
Yeah, open a wormhole, come tell us.
Please.
Right.
Just hop in your DeLorean and come on back.
Come to my house at Redacted. You'll know.
308 Negro Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico.
I'll tell you in another episode, so when you come back, you can tell me. And you'll knock on my door right now. I must have mistyped my address. That must be it. Okay.
Okay.
So they're trying to grow lead, tin, tellurium crystals from vapor, and then more gallium arsenide crystals from a metallic solution.
Okay.
More, again, because I worked with...
Growing crystals.
Growing some crystal. Then G507, orbiter stability experiment.
So basically, just how much the shuttle jitters.
Yeah, that's what it is. They're measuring shuttle's jitter.
Shake a lot.
Yeah, it shakes. You sneeze on it the right way, will it move? That kind of thing.
Does it vibe? Does it vibrate?
Yeah.
It's the vibe.
Yeah. Where's that noise coming from? It's just some guy blasting the bass in the back of the space lab,
Yeah. So this is the 90s. What popular artists are in the 90s?
So this is 1991. I don't know much about music.
Okay.
That's just, again, most of the music I listen to is made recently, and I listen to, pirate metal.
Yeah, power metal.
Which, pirate metal started in 1989 with Running Wilds under Jolly Roger. So maybe they're listening to that.
Yeah, maybe they're blasting that in the back of the space lab.
Yeah. So this is another experiment I thought was interesting that I couldn't find anything on. G486. 6 active soldering experiments.
Just actively soldering stuff together?
So it's soldering irons on a treadmill. And working out.
So they're running?
Yeah.
Like,
it's active.
Actively as they're running?
Yeah, it's active.
Oh, okay.
I always joke about that when you hear like an active, this is like an active shooter. Oh, so they go to the gym. Versus an inactive one, it's like some fat guy doing it. I have a horrible sense of humor. I'm sorry.
That is pretty insensitive. You should apologize.
I am very sorry
to all the shooters out there for insulting them.
I am very sorry. I will call all of them. Oh, wait. Okay. So now we're on to the actual experiment that I thought was the most interesting. Okay. G616. The effect of cosmic radiation on floppy disks.
Oh, okay.
And plant seeds exposure to microgravity. Whatever. So there's actually 3 experiments on this. So the first one was exposes external tank foam to space. Because this is still when NASA was thinking, hey, maybe we could, turn the external tank into a Skylab kind of deal.
Oh, yeah, right. Where it's just like you haul it out and turn it into a space station, yeah.
Yeah, except the foam outgasses and popcorns. So you'd have to, do something new with it. So, no.
I mean, that sounds pretty cool. You make some popcorn out of it, right?
Yeah. We put some Coke in there, commercial float zone, all that.
Yeah, exactly. You got the space.
That's true.
They get the real estate.
There's a lot of volume in the external tank.
Yeah, exactly.
You saw the one you saw the STA that was out on the side of the road in Florida?
Yeah, it's huge.
There's a lot of space in that.
It's like 30 feet wide and 150 feet long. It's giant.
It is enormous. Actually, there's an alternate history someone wrote about that where Enterprise is mounted to the top of the external tank, and they turn it into a space station. It's actually
cool.
based off real studies, too.
Oh, good. They actually did their homework with that.
Yeah. We'll talk about that when I do the external tank special, eventually.
Got it.
So,
okay.
We'll go to the third one, then we'll go to the second one. So, the third one is examines 38 different types of plant seeds after exposure to microgravity. Whatever.
Right.
The real one is they're testing floppy disks under cosmically charged particles. So,
you use space magic.
So what you're doing is you're pretty much making a text file, right? Because, a floppy disk is a storage medium. It's ones and zeros. But the ones and zeros are a charge, right?
It's like positive, negative.
It's yes or no, right? That's all it is. So on the left here, you have uncorrupted text file bitmaps. So you make a text file that's just 11111 run, because that's a specific sequence of bits and bytes, right? Zeros and ones.
Right.
And then, as it's exposed to charged particles in space, which will fly through it, they'll do bit flips, right? So instead of having just 11111, you'll have errors show up, right? Like these. And
because the cosmic rays are basically going in and they're charging them, or they're interacting with them.
Yeah, they're doing bit flips and things like that. It's an actual problem for spacecraft, especially if the VCR breaks, like on Galileo. But so they're trying to see what the actual effect of this is. Because
isn't there that one big example where somebody's doing a Super Mario 64 speed run, and they did an impossible move because of cosmic rays?
I have heard about that. I should read more into it. But yeah, it's something like that. Because again, it's a problem with spacecraft now. That's why when they flew Orion into the Van Allen belts, just to see what charged particles would do to it, to see if they do bit flips and error. There's software to do error corrections, so that when this does happen, it doesn't blow up the spacecraft.
It went got corrupted a little bit there. We're going to clean it back up. It's all going to get spit shine.
So I think this was some of the learnings of this are actually used now to this day on data recovery for USB sticks and the hard drives.
Yeah, because we still get a little bit of the cosmic rays.
Yeah, of course these are floppy disks. These are the actual floppy disks that flew, and this is not my picture. This is someone's private photograph. It's in the description. I don't want to get sued. Just making sure about that.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. So, and these aren't even save icon floppy disks. These are the ancient ones. These are 45s.
Wait, so right. That's what the icon for the save.
Yeah, the save icon's a floppy disk.
Cool.
So, but yeah, these are the ones that actually flew.
Cool. I like they got the colors, the bright colors.
Yeah, I like bright colors too.
It's pretty.
Now let's do some space science.
Yay!
Woo! Okay, so in the cardiovascular section, we have cardiovascular adaptation to zero gravity. So that's your heart.
Right.
Then we have in-flight study of cardiovascular deconditioning. I know which one this is. I bring it up later. So pretty much what they're doing is I think it's astronaut Bagian. We'll get to him. He actually has a heart catheter in him during launch, and they're monitoring his fluids, his heart rate and his blood flow during ascent into space, for the first hour of flight.
Oh my gosh.
Well, it posed an issue because what if you have to abort? and get out of the shuttle. Quick.
Yeah.
It's actually a bit of an issue on this flight, but they fixed it, obviously.
Just gotta quick cut it out of them.
Yeah. Just pull it out. Come on. Don't hurt. You're tough.
Yeah. You're an astronaut. You're made for this.
Yeah. Influence of weightlessness upon cardiovascular control.
Does it give you a heart attack?
Yep. Then we have pulmonary function during weightlessness. So how do your lungs work? There's an experiment they have. They breathe into a tube while like on a treadmill. It's caveman stuff. Is there a slide for this? Good. And they made there's a cool booklet I found that lists all the experiments with these cool works of art. I didn't know how to put them in here, but I tried.
Yeah, this is trippy.
Yeah, it is. Don't worry. The next one I didn't try to make it fit the style of the slides.
Okay.
So then we have blood and fluid regulation. So we have fluid electrolyte regulation during spaceflight. How do your fluids move around and your electrolytes and all that stuff, right? Drink a bunch of Gatorade, I guess.
Yeah. And watch the pretty colors flow through the veins.
Yeah, look at that. Look at them colors. Yeah, growing some of these crystals and I'm seeing colors, man. Semiconductors, man. Okay, so we have influence of spaceflight on erythrokinetics in man. I think that's...
Which man?
One of them. One of the test subjects. We'll get to the...
Not the women?
No, we don't do that. They're the doctors.
Oh.
I don't want to know what the erythrokinetics is. I wonder if it's muscles. Blood and fluid regulation?
Probably muscles.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
It's all Latin.
Yeah. Regulation of blood volume during spaceflight, and this is one they do on rats. So it's how do they move blood around in space?
Does it sound like the amount of blood as well? Yeah. Right, because the volume.
Yeah. Or maybe the blood's just too loud, it's screaming. Ah!
If it's too loud, you're too old.
Yeah.
That's how aging works. Yeah. Your blood just gets progressively louder over the years.
Yeah. Man, this guy's 80. How can you tell? He's over there. I can hear him.
Yeah.
So then we have regulation of erythropoiesis. Poiesis during spaceflight. Ow! I think this is balance.
What does erythro mean?
I think this is balance during because it's one of the because it's a specific spot behind your ears, right? That your balance. Same thing on rats. Mm-hmm. So they're trying to figure out if you can orient yourself correctly in space.
Oh, okay. So how does spaceflight influence your balance? How is it regulated in rats?
Yeah.
Well, in space. Okay.
Yeah. And then we have lymphocyte proliferation in weightlessness.
Mm-hmm.
Lymphocytes, of course, as you know. We don't have to explain that. Those are pretty obvious. Yeah. Then we have neuroscience.
Oh, finally.
Vestibular experiments in Space Lab.
Okay.
Obviously, it's got your vestibule. That's where you hang your coats up, I think. It's the coat.
I think that, yeah, the bit, not the coat rack, right? But the place.
That's about where that is, right?
I don't know. I'm not an architect.
I don't know either.
There's the front door, and then there's inside.
Yeah. A study of the effects of space travel on mammalian gravity receptors. So we're going to shoot some gravity at rats.
See how they respond to the gravity?
Yeah. Oh, wait. Vestibular. That's this thing. I don't have any pictures of it, but if you watch the post-flight presentation, it's a box with it's a wheel, and it's spinning with polka dots in it, and it's tracking your eyes and how they move in space.
Oh,
it's ocular,
okay.
yeah. And then we have one of the cooler ones. Effects of microgravity-induced weightlessness on Aurelia, Ephyria, differentiation, and statolith synthesis. Jellyfish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so to see how jellyfish grow in space.
Okay, that's awesome.
That is really cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and this is actually the experiment. Those are jellyfish in space.
What did they notice?
I don't know. I couldn't find any of the details of it, but yeah, they float around. Well, they're in fluids, so I guess they'd still be weightless.
Would it be exactly the same?
It wouldn't be because it'd be in free falls. There's still differentiation in gravity, so I'd assume that they would something. I'm also not a biologist. I'm an engineer.
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
But yeah, there's a lot of human experimentation going on board. Not the ethical kind, of course, but then you got jellyfish and rats. Yeah. And yeah, let's see, the human testicle and tublets, and this is the heart catheter. I think that's the one of the space one I brought up earlier.
Okay.
So this is the crew that will be flying this mission. Except this guy, he's the backup.
Oh.
And if I find the funny crew photo, I always use it. Because
it's great.
it's a great crew photo.
Yeah.
And you'll recognize one of the crew members because we've covered him already. Can you guess?
Shoot.
Oh. Well.
See, this is what happens when I don't get a whole lot of sleep. I get face blindness.
That's true. Also, I don't think, and none of us, have you seen MASH?
I think I've seen like one episode of MASH.
I think I have too. I know there's a few memes from it that I've seen, but that's about it. I've never seen MASH.
Yeah.
We're uncultured. Gosh. Let's go back to watching.
Or young.
Yeah. Let's go watch Columbo now. Gosh. All right. So our commander is Brian D. O'Connor, who we last saw in STS-61B. He was the pilot.
Okay.
Yep. He was born September 6th, 1946. He's from Orange, California, as you can tell by his uniform.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
Yep. He's a Marine pilot, and he's an engineer from Astronaut Group 9.
Mm-hmm.
This is his last space flight. So
Dang.
we got both of them already. We got one astronaut down.
Only 600 more to go.
Only 600 more to go, including Katy Perry. That doesn't count. We'll ignore that. So this is his last flight, but he's still going to stay with the program. He's going to do a lot of work on Shuttle Mir, because, again, it's 1991, so now we're getting into the Mir, again, preparing ourselves for the ISS, which involves going to Mir.
Right.
Yep. Our pilot is Sidney M. Gutierrez. He was born June 27th, 1951, and he's from Albuquerque.
Hey!
Yep.
Perfect.
He's an Air Force pilot and engineer with his MS from Webster. I don't know where that is.
Like Merriam-Webster from the dictionary?
Yeah. It's an English degree. He's from Astronaut Group 10, first of 2 space flights. He's also, I think, the first and only Hispanic person to fly the shuttle.
Oh. Good for him.
Good for him, yeah. And he was his big participation was in recertification of the shuttle after Challenger. Because again, we're still in that post-Challenger era.
Yeah.
And then we have
Okay.
And then we have James P. Baggian. He's the mission specialist 1. He's born February 22nd, 1952. He's from Philly. He's an Air Force pilot and physician, so he's a doctor.
Oh.
Yeah, he's got his MD from Thomas Jefferson University. He's from Astronaut Group 9. This is also his last space flight. He previously flew on STS-29. He's the only person of Armenian descent to fly into space at the moment.
Good for him.
Yeah.
At the moment. What do you mean?
Well, we might have more Armenians flying eventually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He also developed the crew pressure suit post-Challenger. So the orange suit, he helped develop that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Hey, good for him.
Okay, so our mission specialist 2 and flight engineer is Tamara Tammy E. Jernigan. She was born May 7th, 1959. She's from Chattanooga, Tennessee, which we have driven through.
Yeah, okay.
She's a space physicist and astronomer with her PhD from Rice. She's from...
Like the food?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, Rice University. Why does Rice play Texas? Right, that's from the Kennedys.
Oh, yeah.
Why go to the moon? Why does Rice play Texas? She's from Astronaut Group 11. This is first of 5 flights.
Oh, okay.
She likes flying on the shuttle.
I mean, who doesn't,
That's
right?
true. Jake Garn does not. He's the first senator to fly to space. They named the scale of how bad you get space sickness after him.
Poor guy.
Yeah. She started out as a research scientist at Ames, and then eventually after this, she'll do work on the ISS operations and design. Because again, she does a lot of work with space physics, space science. That's what you do.
Right.
She would actually represent NASA to the Russians when we started working on the ISS. So,
okay.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, a lot of stuff.
A lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it's like these people are accomplished or something.
No. Astronauts?
Mission Specialist 3 is Ray Seddon, born November 8th, 1947. She's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville, which I think we've driven through.
Probably. I mean, we've driven through Nashville.
Yeah, so we got the Tennessee contingent here.
Mm-hmm.
She's a surgeon with her MD from the University of Tennessee. She's from astronaut group 8. She's one of the first female astronauts ever picked.
Nice.
This is her second of 3 flights. She previously flew on STS-40D. And what I learned reading about her was she went to a Catholic school, and they didn't even have a science department until Sputnik happened.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was reading about this because of current events and current cuts on things. Was after Sputnik, the government went, hey, we should probably beat the Soviets at everything, so let's start shoveling money into science and engineering programs. Let's get everybody to be really good at science and engineering.
I mean, hey, that's a pretty good motivation.
And it worked. So
Good.
Keep that kind of stuff in mind. Current events.
Okay. All right.
So then, Payload Specialist 1 is F. Drew Gaffney. He was born June 9th, 1946. He's from Carlsbad, New Mexico. So we got 2 New Mexicans on this flight.
So we have 2 New Mexicans and 2 people from Tennessee.
Yeah. Now, he was in the Air National Guard for Texas, and he's a medical doctor with his degree from the University of New Mexico. Now, since he's a payload specialist, he's actually a visiting scientist, and he worked a lot in, shockingly, biomedical research.
Biomedical? Really?
I know.
From a medical doctor?
I know, right? Shocking.
Unexpected.
Yeah. He was the program scientist on Spacelab D2 on STS-55. And he worked a lot with European scientists because the D stands for Deutsch, for German.
Oh, okay.
And he did some work on Space Station Freedom, which famously flew.
Yes, of course. We all remember Space Station Freedom.
Obviously. It became the ISS, but we'll cover that when we do the ISS special in 20 years. By the time for it to deorbit.
Perfect.
Then Payload Specialist 2 is Millie Hughes Fulford. She was born December 21st, 1945, and she did die in February 2021 of lymphoma.
Oof. R.I.P.
Yeah. She is from Mineral Wells, Texas. She is a chemist molecular biologist with a PhD from the Texas Women's University.
They segregated the genders?
It's Texas.
Oh, okay.
She was actually in the top 20 of candidates for women for astronaut group 8.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's how she got that's how she got into this. She almost became in group 8. But she just wasn't picked. Again, there's some very strong competition here to get into be an astronaut.
Really? You don't say.
Now, she is a principal investigator on several Space Hab payloads. So that's later in the 90s, she'll do a lot of work on those. And she is the namesake for the Hughes Fulford Lab at the San Francisco VA Medical Center, where she worked and died. Because her last few papers were actually on the lymphoma that she had.
Oh, it's like, I'm dying. Might as well, write a research paper about
Scientist to the end. And, again, to just show off, she started college at 16.
Okay, yeah. So, it's a gift.
Yeah, again, astronauts. It's not guys like me doing it.
What do you mean?
That's true. At some point, we have to have our first podcaster in space.
At some
point, yeah. We'll start that program. So here they are doing training. So this is a medical device.
This is the existential crisis chair.
Yeah, actually, so it's actually on springs and it shakes you to measure your weight in space.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, it basically is how much force is applied to you. And okay.
Also, so the original pilot for this mission was actually John Blaha, but another astronaut had died recently, and he was part of the funeral proceedings for him, so he actually got kicked off the mission. Well, he kicked, but yeah, he was moved. Well, he was working on that. It's like, I'm not going to fly this time. So they replaced him with Sid Gutierrez.
Okay.
And apparently during training, as the mission, because these missions start out as, okay, we got a commander and pilot. We're going to do these kinds of missions, so we'll pick up, a mission specialist or two. And then they start adding people to them. Like, payload specialists are the last people picked.
Okay, so basically the way that we went down the order is also the order of how they were picked.
For the most part, yeah. Again, if you have stuff like, an astronaut's got to do other things, or if he falls down or something, they got to replace him. But they go through the training, and apparently they started out there's some tension between some of them. They just didn't they didn't get the work right, the flow right.
It's because it was the New Mexican 2 versus the Tennessee 2.
Yeah, it's one of those things. And O'Connor, since he's a Marine, he's led people before. He said, yeah, in the military, I'm used to like 3 personality types. But here on these, it's a wide variety of personality types that end up on the shuttle. So he had to figure out how to work with them and get them to work together. Because the last thing you want to do is have a fist fight in the space lab. You know.
I mean, hey, then he could get more science research with that, with the biomedical stuff. How do scabs form in space, right? The effects of space flight on scars and bruised knuckles, and broken bones, things like that.
Let's write a proposal for NASA. That'll go over well.
We're just gonna quickly break your bone, okay?
We'll live stream it. We'll sell tickets.
Don't worry, we'll send up Katy Perry as well because she's a doctor.
Yeah, she's a doctor now. I'm gonna by the time this comes out, I'll have made my video on space tourism because everybody's in a kerfuffle over it. But don't worry, you'll have an official opinion on this by then.
No, thank you.
From me, of course. So they're going training in the space lab because again they got to figure out how this stuff works. It's not like hey, what's all this do? On orbit. Oh, what's this? I don't know. It's
they already have the look of bewilderment and confusion, kind of.
Well, that's
where it's like, what are all these wires? What are all these buttons doing?
What are these cigarette butts doing here?
Yeah,
matches. What's going on? That's like in 5 years.
Yeah, Bob Arson is just lurking in back of all the images.
Yeah, there he is, right there, just waiting.
He's inside in the other image.
So on the right side, they're going through ingress-egress training.
Basically hopping in and out of the...
It's, right, hey, we ditched the shuttle. Can you get out in time?
Oh, okay.
Right, or, hey, the shuttle's going to, is on fire. Please get out. That kind of thing. You got to, again, most of the training is just, what if this one obscure event happens?
Right, and then you have to train for it.
Yeah, and then making sure the experiments work.
Okay.
So, the launch was originally planned for June 1990, which would have made this one of 9 missions in 1990 had all these flown.
Wow.
Which, that didn't happen. But there's a problem with hydrogen leaks with the external tank and the shuttle for a bunch of these missions. They got delayed.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, it was the hydrogen disconnect between the orbiter and the external tank that delayed the mission.
What was wrong with it?
It leaked.
Oh. Probably should have connected those dots. I'm tired. I'm sorry.
So the first attempt to launch was June 1st, 1991. But then it was delayed because of a calibration failure in the inertial measurement unit. Well, the second one, but one of the inertial measurement units. It didn't know where it was.
Well, it's in the shuttle. Did they not tell it that?
I guess it wasn't listening. Maybe it was listening to some pirate metal. I don't know.
It was getting bass boosted.
Yeah. So the second attempt was June 5th, which is also the same day it launches. It was delayed by like an hour due to weather. Mm-hmm. And then it launches on June 5th, 1991 at 9:24 in the morning from LC-39B.
Okay.
Look at that thing go.
It's going. It's hauling.
And you can see silts a lot more clearly here.
Yeah, the big thing sticking out in the front.
Yep. So the orbit it goes to is 296 by 287 kilometers, 184 by 178 miles at 39.02 degrees. Woohoo!
That's pretty cold.
It is pretty chilly. Unless you go in centigrade, then it's really hot.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing really interesting about this flight beyond what we've just talked about. So we'll look at a bunch of pictures. Now, they did actually install a new water filter on orbit for the water dispersion system. Isn't that exciting?
They put a new water cooler in there. That's what we're talking about.
Is so exciting. Yeah, well, he's gonna hang around there, gossip about the rats. Here he's from Tennessee. Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Hey, do you know about the 3 personality types in the military?
It's your MBTI. I don't know. I'm a Sagittarius. I don't know. So I actually found the report for ice and debris for these missions. So this is what the SRB looks like when they recover it.
It's a little worn.
It's a little worn down. You can see. So like here they just put cork, and it just burns. It's the insulation.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is an SRB after recovery from the ocean.
So after they chuck it in the drink, they fish it out.
Yep, they fish it out with the jellyfish, right? They get them to pull it out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the rats work.
And then
on
in
it.
exchange, we help get them to space.
Yeah, that's the exchange program. So another thing that happened as an anomaly was this little fitting here fell out.
It's not supposed to be there.
There it is.
Huh?
Yeah, and so this is actually the hydrogen inlet. So the external. So we're looking at this from the shuttle. The hydrogen comes down through this pipe and into the shuttle from here. This is what it looks like.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
Yeah, this is the part that was causing problems with the shuttle missions. It was leaking.
It was leaking.
'Cause I think they changed part of it after Challenger.
And it leaked.
It was leaking. What good was that fix? Yeah, so this is what it looks like. That's the interface. Isn't that cool?
That is awesome.
And it's good. Also good to kind of just see different pieces of shuttle hardware. Also, just to know what this thing looks like. Yeah. I think it's important. And then let's look at some tile damage. Now, this looks bad, but it's not. It's a bunch of like 1-inch sized nicks and impacts. I actually have a chart of the most impacts on the shuttle. I think STS-27 has the most damage because had it happened somewhere else, they may have lost it. A bit of an issue. But most of the debris and damage looks like this here. It's a nick and a scratch. And I have a shuttle tile. You know how thick it is. So it just kind of nicks it, and little bits of debris come off. But you can see there's just like little impacts all over, right? It's exposed to the external tank, and debris hits it.
Yeah. So you're supposed to armor up the spots that don't have the dots, right? That's the thing.
This isn't wartime yet.
Oh, okay.
You can see just kind of where the debris starts collecting and where it hits. You'll notice it's the parts closer to the external tank that get hit more.
Yeah,
shockingly.
I wonder why.
Yeah, weird. And the parts downstream from it are more likely to get hit. Huh.
Yeah, that's curious.
Interesting. Kooky.
I'm sure it's a coincidence.
Yeah. Also, so you can see here the insulation in the back got torn out a little bit.
Oof. Just get some duct tape.
Yeah, get some duct tape. It'll be fine. The big concern was that there was debris that would prevent the payload bay doors from closing again.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit of an issue.
Obviously, it wasn't, because it came back down all fine and dandy, and I'm not talking about it, except for this.
Yeah.
But,
right?
Yeah.
You're not going to surprise me?
There's no surprises in this one, no.
Oh, okay.
I figured if I'm going to talk about a prominent shuttle failure, I'd start with it.
Oh, okay.
Like, when we talk about Challenger, I'm not going to surprise you with, like, oh, wow, at this time, then it explodes. Wow, shocking.
Yeah.
We'll get there when we get there. But so that was a bit of an issue on this flight. Again, there's just debris, pock marks. It's a shuttle flight.
Yeah, it's flying.
Here it is, in space. All the pixels of it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Exciting. And here is the rat. Here's one of the rats.
Oh, it's cute.
Yeah. So they actually had the little animal containment units at a little cage, like a little hotel room, and they'd take them out and move them to a mid-deck glove box to do experiments with them. And so apparently they just kind of hold on to your finger, and just as they carried them over. Yeah.
That's adorable.
There's no photos or video of that. Apparently they were pretty chill in space. I guess they liked it.
Hey, maybe we should send more rats to
That'd be
space.
fun. That's how we should do space exploration. Actually, that does remind me of a webcomic I once read called Outrim, where we genetically enhance like rodents to become space pilots, and they have their own little spaceships.
That's
just pretty cool. So there's rats. I got a picture of one of them finally.
Yay!
I was thinking it's like, oh, maybe it's a medical like HIPAA thing where it's like you can't show them, but no, it's just I just wasn't the right.
Yeah, they're protecting health information.
Yeah, we just put a black bar so you don't recognize it. There we go. So you can't identify this rat that flew in 1991.
You can't show off its birthday. You can't show off its weight, age, height, anything like that.
No, it's a rat. It's just a rat. So here's Sid and Tammy getting their astronaut wings. First flight for both of them. So
nice.
Get their astronaut. They made it so you had to fly into space for you to get your astronaut wings. Because during the Apollo program, one of the early Apollo scientists quit the program and became a Vietnam protester. And it was Apollo astronaut, protests Vietnam.
Oh.
And so NASA said, you're not doing that anymore. Until you fly, you're an astronaut candidate. You're an ass can.
Appropriate name.
Yes. So here they are. They're getting their wings. Good for them. Excellent work. And then here's James eating a sandwich.
Delicious.
Having a good time. Yeah, you gotta eat. You gotta eat in space. There's a medical experiment there. And, okay, all the pictures look kind of dark. I don't know how to fix that. I'm not a photographer.
It's the 90s. They had Polaroids, right?
Yeah, but some of them look better than others. There's some other photographs I didn't include in this one where it looks like they're in heaven because of how bright it is. I don't know how to fix these. I don't know how to do any of that. I should learn how to do that.
I mean, if you've ever seen any photos that are taken during the 90s or even the early 2000s, right? They all look terrible, right? Because because they're usually done with a flash, right? With flash photography, and the flash is right next to the camera because it's on the camera, so it's right next to the lens. Yeah. And so you get these. The lighting is just horrible because of it, and it makes the images look terrible.
But I think there's enhancements you can do to fix these. I just don't know how to do it yet.
Okay.
But here they are doing medical experiments in Space Lab, and yes, the lights were on. You can still see everything, just not in these pictures.
Yeah.
Also, for the medical experiments, the commander and pilot didn't really participate in some of them just because the last thing you want to do is all right, let's do some medical experiments that weaken you, and we got to fly back. Uh-oh.
Yeah, we got to break the arms of the pilot before they land.
Yeah, that's a smart thing to do.
This is genius.
Yeah. Look at them. They're doing science, medical experiments, science, and having good. Actually, no, they're eating. Because you can see there's food down here. So they're in the mid-deck, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. And of course, James having a good time with a postcard.
Is that a drawing?
Yeah, probably a drawing from a child, probably. Family photos.
One of his kids.
Yeah, they bring that stuff along with them, because they're people or something. I don't know.
Ugh, gross.
I know. Ugh. I think that's...
that he's chilling next to the box fan.
Yeah. Well, where would you be? The air conditioning breaks, gotta go next to the fan. Is that a cassette player?
It is the 90s, maybe...
That's probably a cassette player. And of course you can see they got the duct tape taped to the wall in case they need it.
You always need duct tape in space.
That is quite true. Again, this is not a very exciting mission, I'm just going to warn you. It's just going to be pictures like these.
It's about as exciting as any other doctor visit you get.
Yeah. You don't even get a sucker at the end of it. What's going on?
Yeah.
Right, absolute cinema.
Yeah.
There's Millie, of course. She kind of reminds me of Virginia Madsen.
Okay.
Yeah. So because you don't know who I'm talking about, of course, but
no,
she's an actress. You ever see Candyman?
No.
Great movie. You should see it. But she looks kind of like Virginia Madsen around this time. So
okay,
we'll keep going. That's look, science in the space lab. Look at that.
Look at all the
science they're doing. All the little bags, and that's the one thing that would probably be annoying about flying in space. It's just all the debris that's floating around.
Yeah, material management.
Yeah, it's just there it is. There it goes.
There's the TPS report.
Yeah, there it goes. All these TPS reports you can see. There's all these signs and this giant shell casing here for some reason. Yeah.
Is that a flashlight?
I think it is, or it's an experiment. Because there's another one back here.
Oh, it's probably an experiment. They're growing the crystals.
That's the crystal growth experiment. Yeah, the crystal growth experiment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, got crystal, science.
Yeah. And yeah, it's just, again, so many experiments. Because one of the experiments they were doing with the glove box was they sprayed water in and they sprayed particulates in to see if the water would glom onto it and they'd form larger drops.
Ooh, and even more powerful, stronger drops.
It just eats the smaller ones. And they food dye to see how that would work. It's in the post-flight presentation. I couldn't find any photos of it, but it's the post-flight presentation. Yeah,
okay.
Really, it's medical science, and they're getting all strong in space, right? Get all pumped up. Medical science, doctors, science, medicine,
space,
lupus, science,
It's not lupus.
Science drug. Of course, here they are.
Yeah, where's the Vicodin?
Yeah, that's the canisters. Of course, here's Sid and James just kind of chilling. Because they love just moving around in microgravity, doing weird positions.
Have you ever been in microgravity?
No.
Do you ever want to be in microgravity?
Yes and no. I don't like flying.
Okay.
There's in the video actually of this, one of the last days they were flying, they all piled up in the back of the space lab, like on top of each other, and I forgot. I think Sid did push-ups with them on his back. And of course, it's what, 7 people. So Commander O'Connor's on top. He's just banging against the ceiling of the space lab. It's really funny.
That's great.
And they got more reports to read.
Yeah, and here they are getting their tattoos.
Getting tattoos. And of course, James has far too much time on his hands. It's terrible.
Well, he's timing the DeLorean, right? So he's got his time, and then the DeLorean time.
Yeah, and it's just medical experiments. Was it's probably blood sampling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Ooh, oh god, I'm squeamish now. I don't like medical stuff. Is not my thing. Okay, it's gonna be. Yeah. So there they are doing more science. I think they're feeding the rats. I think that's.
Is that what?
I think that's the animal cages.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's where they're living. They're up against the bars, rattling the cup. Let me out.
Oh yeah. I want a lawyer.
Yeah, where's my lawyer?
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman.
Yeah, the rat version of Saul Goodman.
Yeah.
So this is so on the right here. This is the experiment where these here you put your shoulders are resting against those on the bottom, right? You put your head in there and you're breathing into this as I think it's an exercise bike.
Oh,
and it's monitoring how your lungs work, like the oxygen flow in and out.
Yeah, it's that one.
It's that thing. So it's to see how well your lungs work in microgravity. Because remember, it's about gas diffusion in your lungs. Well, on Earth, you have gravity influencing things. Mm-hmm. How does this work in space?
Yeah. Well, it's still at work because it's your lungs. Yeah. It's your diaphragm, like moving your lungs.
Yeah, there's still a bunch of muscle involvement, but how much difference is there?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question.
That's the science that I couldn't find any of the results for. So
we'll never know.
It's a mystery still. We just did this for fun. It's a heck of it.
Yeah.
Let's get up here and do this stuff. I don't know. Why can't we light fires in space? Yeah. There's Tammy doing another experiment. I think she's working on the spinning color wheel of death thing that they had. Because again, it's a box. They put it on their face, and it's just monitoring their eyes. I think one of the next images has that.
That sounds torturous.
Yeah, but they're trying to see how well your eyes move and behave in space, right? Because it's like trying to track this dot, and your eyes will try to move. Well, in microgravity, how well does that work compared to on the ground?
Yeah,
and there's more.
It's like, oh, yep, nope, you're drunk.
Yep.
Get the back of the cruiser.
Yep. Yeah, some cop car shows up. A little too much to drink tonight. No, I'm just an astronaut.
Cop shuttle pulls him over.
Yeah, so there's Tammy working on one of the experiments. Medicine.
Just one of them.
Probably it looks like a pulmonary thing. Based on the tubing.
Okay.
One of the experiments. They had a crash test dummy on board.
Why do they have a crash test dummy on board?
Just to mess with people, I guess. Maybe it's just for monitoring, moving stuff around, shaking things around. Or someone to make fun of. That's the team building exercise. Make fun of the mannequin.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if I was to get into a spacecraft and they had a crash test dummy, strapped into one of the chairs, I'd be very concerned.
Yeah. Oh. Where's the other mission specialist?
Yeah.
Can't handle it. Replaced with a crash test dummy. What?
Yeah.
So here's the crew working in the space lab. Science. You can see James.
It's like the gym, right?
Yeah. He's working
with all this equipment.
There's the equipment. He sees James in the back. He's weightlifting, doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Weightless lifting.
Yeah. Weightless. There we go. Weightless lifting.
It's 0G.
They're goofing off with some electrical equipment.
That's the guy's computer.
Yeah, there's police wires. This is hilarious.
I love all the pretty colors.
Look at that stuff, guys. This is fun. Hope this sounds important.
It'll be fine.
O'Connor's in the flight deck. What is going on?
The lights are blinking and flashing.
Oh no, this is not good at all.
Yeah, and this is one of the psychological experiments that we're conducting.
Yeah, mess with the commander. Again, there's more science going on. They're doing, I think, I don't know what they're doing. Again, I didn't. Oh wait, that's a laser light. See, so you can see there's a laser light there.
Oh yeah, they're flashing the laser light.
Just messing with the rats. It's like,
no, they're probably testing follow this laser point.
Oh yeah, maybe like dexterity, right? Point it at point it at this. See how well you can point it at that.
Yeah, and it has like a little grid there, so it's like pointed at this quadrant or
and because if you have a grid, then you can track it. It's a lot easier to track, Yeah, maybe it's something like that. Again, the other problem is I'm still busy. It's the end of the semester as I'm working on this, so I didn't have a chance to do this in full for medical science. Okay. Luckily, for the rest of the year, I think the next not for the shuttle missions, but for the next space probes, it's mostly going to be quick and easy ones. So
okay,
but again, I do apologize. Not the most science. I want to do more science. It's just the other thing is medical stuff. I just don't understand.
The human body is an enigma.
Yeah, it's just weird. Oh yes, so there's Tammy working on the video camera to monitor eye movement, I think, or watching someone do their eye movement.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, also with the lighting, it's hard to tell where you are.
Yeah.
So on the right, here's an experiment where, he's got goggles on and he's sitting in a seat and she's going to spin him around at a certain speed and then stop and he's going to put his head down into his knees. And it's going to test how dizzy, how he can recover from that, dizziness. Okay.
Is part of the experiment the rest of the crew pointing and laughing?
Yeah, they all do. It's a hazing ritual.
Yeah.
You're not an astronaut till you've done this.
That's what would make me. That's usually how those types of experiments went. Back in my school.
Yeah, it's a little hazing ritual.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, even Millie's got the patches on her face. I did it 3 times. What are you guys talking about?
God. Yeah.
Go get the color wheel of doom. Okay, next. There we go.
Perfect.
The rats can do this. Why can't you?
Yeah, the jellyfish.
Yeah, the jellies. Also, instead of sleeping in the mid-deck, some of the crew would just stay in the space lab and sleep there.
Cool.
Yeah. Because again, it's they love doing science and medical experiments.
Well, it's probably a lot more spacious than the bunk beds in the mid-deck.
That is probably quite true. I mean, you can see it's fully stretched out, sleeping. It's probably more comfy. Yeah, they sleep in the space lab. It was nice.
It's probably like going camping.
That would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And of course, you remember, it's not quiet in there. One, you have the rats complaining about everything. And then you have fans whirring. And, occasionally the shuttle will fire a thruster, so it's a bang. But, yeah.
I mean, the fans are probably, white noise. It helps us sleep.
Probably. Because otherwise CO2 would pool around your face and you'd suffocate.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's why they have them. They have to keep moving air. Because, again, on Earth, CO2 is a bit denser, so it kind of drifts. But in space, it doesn't really do that, so you got to accommodate for it. Apparently, the ISS is pretty loud, from what I've heard, because of all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
I think Mir was louder, but that's just because it's Soviet stuff. It's like a crank start fan system.
Yeah, it's a gas fan to move the carbon dioxide around.
Yeah, God. We're not going to, just to be clear, we're not going to do most of the Soviet space program because A, I don't speak Russian, B, I probably can't find much of the science experiments, especially if it would be in English, and then C, it would be a lot of the missions would be, yes, here's this thing broke, but didn't do it in a way that was fatal somehow. It's stuff like that. It's like, how do you guys have more problems?
It's basically like all the problems that you can have without dying.
Yeah, it's just, how did you make this? How? Again, Mir was hit by one of its cargo resupply craft.
Whoops.
It caught fire. The Mir special, which is coming, I think, about this time next year. We'll talk about it then.
Okay.
So again, more science.
Yay!
Woo! More science. Got the galley. He's making lunch on this part. He got the bread out. Got the bread. Got some tortillas.
Yeah, it looks like some peanut butter.
That's gonna be good.
It's gonna be a nice lunch.
And here's the water filter over here on the right.
Ah, the water cooler.
Yeah, there's the water cooler. It's the water.
Smaller than I was expecting.
Yeah,
but
they're fixing it, and there's James just getting in there. Yeah, hey, look, I'm here. I too am in this mission. So here it is in place. So it's because you remember the fuel cells produce water, and the crew drinks the water.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they learned a lot about fluid mechanics on this because of it. So
yeah, because you can see how the water is
well,
moving.
of course, they are fluid mechanics because they're moving the fluid. Shut up. I'll shut up. Bad jokes. That's this episode. Bad attempts at jokes. And then on the right, you can see they're doing more experiments in the glove box. Right, they got the dye, and we squirt the water out, squirt the dye out, see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Playing with color painting.
And of course, the crew did goof around. So Sid decided to hide in the trash compactor. So in the video you'll watch, there's a banging noise from here, and they open it up and they pull his head out. Hey, here he is. And of course it's all right. And they push him back in, close it.
Wait, they have a trash compactor?
Well, not a trash. Look at the trash hole. That's where they put the trash.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think this. Okay. There you go. Put him back in.
Nice.
Then, you know what this is?
Looks like fire.
It's late.
Oh, it's the It's 1991.
Yeah, that's Saddam's burning oil fields. That's Kuwait.
Cool.
Yep. Because again, the last mission, STS-39, I also got photos of that. We talked about it then.
Yeah, because it was at night and they got thermal images.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, Columbia lands on June 14th, 1991 at 8:39 in the morning, Pacific Daylight Time. Here it is landing. Look at that.
Just in time for work?
Yep, just in time to clock in. It's the longest commute ever. Yeah. So this mission is 9 days, 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 20 seconds long. Or about 146 orbits.
Cool.
It's a big success, aside from the damage in the rear. Obviously, they're a bit worried about that. And it's paving the way for more life sciences missions.
More research of the human body.
More hazing rituals.
You get put into the shaking chair where you just get shoved in and shaked.
Yep, you get shaked, and then they put you in the spinny chair, and then they have to bring it, show a rat to you just to scare you. It's like, this is part of it. And I don't really have any results that I could find from this.
Got it.
I couldn't find them, and it's just, I'm in a time crunch. It's the end of the semester. I have a project to do, so that's this mission. This is STS-40.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Fun little science mission with, rats and floppy disks.
Yeah.
Which I think
and jellyfish.
And the jellies, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun little mission. It's got that vacuum hose going here. I guess they're making the rats clean the space lab, I guess. It's punishment.
They have to clean the jellyfish tank.
Yeah, they clean that. There's debris everywhere. It's like, more crystal growths. No. Yeah, so that's STS-40. A fun little mission.
Awesome.
Do you have any thoughts on STS-40?
Pretty solid mission. The human body is an enigma.
Yep.
The rats are cute. So are the jellyfish.
Yep.
It seems like the shuttle kind of is a nice place to sleep.
Yeah, it probably is.
I don't know how sleeping in a zero-G environment would be. Kind of like the feeling of laying inside the bed, but...
Yeah, I think Chris Hadfield said that when he was on the ISS, he dreamt about walking when he was sleeping.
That kind of makes sense.
Right? You have those dreams you're trying to run from something, and then you start flying and floating. Yeah. Hate when that happens. First it's molasses, and then I take off. What's going on here? Hate those dreams. Yeah, again, this is most of the shuttle missions we'll be doing. Here's 1,000 different experiments with protein crystal growth, of course, because what else are you going to do in space?
This is the primary reason why the space shuttle exists, is to grow crystal.
Grow crystal, do some science, fight rats.
We've got bees, we've got rats, we've got jellyfish.
Ants.
Ants we're going to kill before we put them up into space.
Yep.
I'll never forgive NASA for that.
Never forget.
Never forget.
Yep. And haze astronauts.
Haze astronauts. Then after you're done, though, you can have fun with the commercial float zone.
Get some frozen pizza, get some Coke, popcorn, commercial float zone.
And tortillas.
Yes. All right. So our next mission is Near Shoemaker.
I feel like I need glasses to see the badge.
Yeah.
Like, am I nearsighted?
Yeah, that's what's going on. You spent too much time in the commercial float zone, can't see anything anymore. You spent too much time in the spinny chair.
Now everyone's pointing and laughing.
Yep, even the rats are. So actually this mission crystallized. They started making this mission around the same time that this flight flew. So look at that.
I see what you did there with the pun.
Yep.
Crystallized.
Yep. So Near Shoemaker, I've started working the slides for this one. This is the first Discovery class mission, so I'll actually explain what those are and how those came about.
Finally. Thank you.
Yeah. In song.
Oh.
No, of course I can't sing.
That would be incredible. You just produce this whole musical.
That would be really funny.
Yeah.
We should do an episode where I start singing. Ooh, I know which one.
No.
I know which one I could do. It'll be HGS-3, the mission that flew first commercial mission to the moon, because it was put in the wrong orbit for geostationary, and they had to fix it somehow. I'll start singing about that one. I'll do a sea shanty about it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
That'll be next year.
Yes. You have time.
Plenty of time. I gotta learn how to sing. I gotta lose weight too. Jesus. Yeah. So Near Shoemaker, it's gonna be a fun mission when we cover it. What do you think it's about?
Is it about a little cabin close by in your neighborhood that a shoemaker learns the importance and value of asteroids and big rocks in space?
Yeah, it's named after a guy who got hit by an asteroid.
Yeah.
It's one of those meteors straight to him.
I mean, after that's when NASA suddenly got an interest in hitting asteroids with spacecraft.
Yeah.
They got a taste for blood.
There we go. Yep. So we'll talk about Discovery programs near Shoemaker, asteroids, which is kind of coincidental with Lucy did its flyby of Donald Johanson this week or last week.
Oh yeah, you showed me the video of that.
I showed you the video. It's really cool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Rats in space.
And jellyfish.
And hazing.
And
floppy disks.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about those.
Again, I could not find anything on them. They also reflew that on STS-82, I think. So maybe if I'm more details on it.
Yeah. What happened to the floppy disk? I mean, how much memory can you have on a floppy disk? Is it a document?
I think some of these pictures. I think the slideshow itself is bigger than what can hold, like memory size that can hold, than what some of these floppy disks can hold.
I'm sure you would need 42 floppy disks for this entire presentation.
Probably. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Medical science, though. If you want to be a doctor, just remember, you can do this in space.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this episode of House. Yeah, we talked to Wilson, and then remember, put him in the spinny chair, of course.
It's the spinny chair.
Yeah.
The new astronauts get put in the spinny chair.
Yeah. Actually, there was a House episode with an astronaut.
Oh, yeah?
She had an eye problem.
Oh, it should have been the eye tracking thing.
Yeah.
Should have given her that.
Yeah. There we go. Look at this. We're tying it all back together.
And a nice, neat little bow.
Yeah.
And with that, this has been End of Mission.